eat that and grin and bear it. But what's a way we can help Tokyo Jim? Maybe some of you have suggestions. I got my own ideas, but I've been out of the business for years. I'm retired. I know a few people in it. I know a few people in a few businesses around the place. They're all pretty old. And they're even older than me. So I want someone out there with young blood, young enthusiasm. Think of a young family man. He's got a family, but he's a young guy. How can we help Tokyo Jim? Interesting story about Tokyo Jim. Scotland and New Zealand. New Zealand to Tokyo. That's what he hopes. He's stuck in New Zealand and it's not something he wants to do anymore. How do we help Tokyo Jim? Alright. Think about that one. Get back to me. Post it on the forum. Alright, I want to talk about haircuts around Tokyo Town, because I see a lot of the gaijins here have very interesting haircuts, and I see a lot of variance, and I see a lot of variety, and that's good. Variety is good. Of course, we could spend a whole hour talking about the Japanese haircuts, and I might just do that, because you can talk till the cows come home. They have so many types of haircuts. In fact, a lot of the young men over here in Tokyo wear wigs. And for those of you back home, you might have, somewhere else in the world, wherever you're listening to Tokyo Forum Podcast. And by the way, please tell your friends about the Tokyo Forum Podcast, because Tokyo Joe wants to tell the world about Tokyo. I'm Tokyo Joe, and I know Tokyo, right? So why not? Tell the whole world, right? Well, there are 20-year-old men here wearing wigs, making their hair look big, making them look like something out of Van Halen, 1985 or something. Right? David Lee Roth, all that stuff. Okay? And I was in Tokyo during that time. And let me tell you, the hair's just gotten bigger. David Lee Roth is put to shame by some of the haircuts here in Tokyo, right? And these men go to work. They wear their suits and they have the hair like David Lee Roth. Right? David Lee Roth cubed. That's how big their hair is. But let's talk about the gaijin's hair in this episode, because I see a lot of variety, which is good. But one of the things that disturbs me whenever I see a gaijin, particularly a fat, sweaty gaijin wearing a suit on his way to class or whatever he's doing, a job, something else, is the number of goatee beards. What's going on with the goatees? I don't understand. If you come to Japan for a holiday, and you've never been to Japan before, and in fact, if you've never been to Tokyo before, do not wear a goatee. It is too hot for a goatee, alright? You will not need any covering over your chin. It makes you look like a goatee man, right? Second, goatees are suspicious over here. They're going to think you're like some kind of truck driver or some kind of man who needs a goatee for his job. And that's kind of weird. You're on holidays. You're not working. You're on holidays in Tokyo, right? Why do you need to have a goatee? The other reason is men who have goatees, and I have a few friends with goatees, and I hope for those of you listening, my friends in Tokyo, and I know a lot of people in this city over the years. Of course, a lot of people have moved on to other places, and a lot of people have passed away. A lot of older folks I used to know they're disappearing. And we can actually talk about that too, because whenever a gaijin dies here in Tokyo, everyone gets to know about it. In fact, there are some posts on the Tokyo Forum about the dead gaijins, right? Posted by somebody, one of the members. But you can say that if you're going to come to Tokyo and wear a big beard or goatee, it's going to look cool, the photos will be great. Yeah, sure. But you're going to be so hot and sweaty and smelly. And the locals ain't going to like it. They're just going to look at you strange, going, what you doing with a raccoon on your chin? Like, who's that bearded lady? Oh, that's a man? right? So, think twice before you come to Japan or Tokyo wearing a goatee or any other kind of beard. Maybe a small mustache. Maybe a mustache like Jay Moore in that Street Kings film. That's the kind of mustache you want. Nothing more than that, right? You ever seen Jay Moore? He's an young guy, American actor. He was in a film called Street Kings with Keanu Reeves. I will review that film if you want me to. Just ask me on the Tokyo Forum. No, it is not a Tokyo movie. But in the movie, Keanu Reeves says, Konnichiwa. So that's Tokyo enough for me, as far as I'm concerned. So, if you want a Jay Moore mustache, that's fine. Go ahead and get one. But don't come here to Tokyo with a goatee. It's friggin' sight pollution, right? We don't want this visual pollution of a bunch of fat gaijins coming over to our city wearing big, fat goatees on their chins that look like their wives are shaving muffs. You're listening to the Tokyo Forum Podcast. Better than listening to a saggy-titted hooker from the Philippines, Calvaria. Alright, I want to talk about English teachers. Because this has been a big topic in all the forums, the Tokyo Forum and the others. English teachers. Let's talk about them, There ain't enough discussion about English teachers. Everyone in Tokyo seems to be an English teacher. All these kids come over with their Bachelor of Arts and their Bachelor of Sciences and their Bachelor of, photocopying or whatever they got degrees in these days. Probably photocopying, right? Because, photocopying these days is kind of difficult. You seen those machines? There's like more buttons on those than the Apollo mission. Right? You gotta, back in the old days when they used to send the monkeys into space, well, these photocopy machines are like light years different. They're like millions of years more advanced. There's hundreds of buttons on those things. Have you seen it? The combinations must be in the millions of the way you can press all the buttons, right? So these kids have got these degrees, fancy degrees. Some of them even got them framed. They got them framed. They put them up on the wall. And this is really worrying. Why? Because they can't do anything. These kids come over to Tokyo and they can't even speak English properly. They can't. They can't do it. They can't speak English properly. I can tell you, I know. I used to work in a big company. I used to get in a suit every day. I got paid so much money. Years ago, when I was a young kid, just like you. If you're listening and you're an English teacher, don't listen to the end of this. And this is going to be a series. We'll do a whole series of this because this is a big topic. I'm worried about you. Right? It's not because I hate you. I'm not a hater. Okay, I'm full of love. Tokyo Joe is full of love for everyone. I'm talking about thinking about what you're actually doing rather than just waking up every day and doing it. Too many people in Tokyo wake up every day and don't even think about what they're doing. Right? Well, I'll give you an example. Well, I'll give you an example after I finish the introduction to this very important topic. So these kids come over with their bachelor's degrees in photocopying and arts and, master's degree in teaching English to people with no English skills, or a master's degree from, the University of my little city on the hill. With a master's degree in teaching English to foreigners who can't speak the English. Right? Or something. I don't know. I'm kind of parodying it. I mean, there's so many parodies of this stuff. You just got to look.